OK, let's get more now on Cristiano Ronaldo's potential move away from Real Madrid. And Esteve Calzada has joined us, football marketing expert. Esteve, great to see you. Thanks very much for coming in. Now, we've talked about this massive move to Manchester United. It would be such a huge contract and so difficult to structure, I guess. But how could they finance this deal?
Yes, if there's a team that can finance it, is of course Manchester United, even though he would make more of an impact in other teams that wouldn't have such an impressive commercial appeal. But if you look at the Manchester United numbers and you take into account that, for instance, they will save the big salary of Ibrahimovic, or they will be back in the Champions League, which is obviously coming with a lot of money, with a lot of additional games, definitely United would be in a position to afford this deal. I guess also the fact that it may become so obvious that he wants to leave the club can help in terms of kind of driving the price down, right?
Mm-hmm. OK.
And we know, don't we, Ronaldo wants to go back to United potentially because it's a club that he knows well. But what about other options for him? What other clubs could potentially afford him? Maybe a move to China, perhaps?
Very few. Even China now is becoming more difficult because there's a new tax, which means that basically every transfer fee that is agreed, you have to pay the same amount in tax. So say that he would basically agree, a fee would be agreed for £150 million, for instance. It means that the cost effectively would be £300 million, which makes it a little bit difficult. But again, it's one of the few names in the game that could come up with these extraordinary numbers, right? Then, when you come to Europe, there's very few clubs that could afford him, of course. Real Madrid, where he is one of them, and definitely United, probably PSG, and maybe Bayern and Juventus. But then other teams would have to probably sell other players, just like last year Juventus spent a lot of money in Higuain, but just because they sold Pogba to United, right? So that it would need some sort of trading so that you could afford it, probably.
Just going back to something that you said in your first answer there about the fact that it looks as if he wants to leave Spain. A lot of people have said that maybe he's trying to sort of negotiate a bigger deal to stay at Real Madrid, and this could be part of it. What do you think? Do you believe that he definitely wants to leave Spain?
I don't have inside information, but I speak a lot to Spanish journalists, and everyone takes it pretty much for granted. Apparently, this is something that seems to be very serious, and even some sources from the club are telling me that they are trying to stop it, but he seems very determined. Again, maybe that's what's in his mind just now, but we know that football has seen so many turnarounds that you never know, right?
And with Florentino Perez signing a new term, or not signing a new term, or getting a new 4-year term, he's not going to want to lose his star man, is he? I mean, how tough is it going to be for him to try and keep him, even if he is saying that he wants to go?
Well, that's interesting because if you, as opposed to other clubs that are very much exposed to public opinion, Florentino has such a strong position in the club in terms of basically dictating what needs to be done. That if the situation comes in a way in which it's not his fault, the player makes it very obvious and public that he wants to leave, right? I mean, with the money that the club would collect from Ronaldo, you know, Ronaldo is 32, maybe it's somehow the perfect excuse to go and, you know, kind of finance Mbappe, for instance. So I think that he could be able to explain it to the public opinion. Also, it's interesting because the fans are not so much. I mean, Ronaldo has always been very sad about the fact that he doesn't feel so much loved by the fans. And every time he has had the opportunity, he's been talking about the only thing I'm asking for is for people not to, you know, to say anything against me. So if there's a time, if there's an opportunity, it's probably just now.
OK. Esteve, thank you very much for your time today. Really appreciate it. Thank you.